All right, this is the class activity on the atomic structure. So you can see here the purpose of the activity is to identify the different parts of the atom. So let's just take a look at the references. There's this video that will help you complete the assignment. There is also a couple other videos. There's a video that explains the different parts of the atom, and I also posted a link to the periodic table that you might need for this one. As well. So let's go ahead and look at the first section. So identify the different vocabulary for atomic structure, right? Answers may be used more than once. You must answer the whole row correct in order for the answers to turn green, for the points to be counted. And also, I posted one of the videos on the nucleus, that crash course of going over the different parts of the atom. So let's just go ahead and do a couple of these. Now, I did give you a hint, and it says if you complete the section below this one, that one may help you out, just to refresh that. That's identifying the parts of the atom. But let's just go ahead and do a couple of these. Let's see here. So let's just do number 2, right? So contains the protons and neutrons. Well, there's a drop-down list. That's going to be the nucleus. That's what contains the protons and the neutrons. Let's just do number 7, right? This number determines the identity of the atom. That is going to be the atomic number, right? The atomic number is what determines the atom. Let's do number 13. The number of this particle of the atom determine the element. So that's going to be the proton. The number of protons determine the element. All right, so now let's do the section below this one. So identify the different parts of the atom. You must answer them all correctly in order for it to turn green and for you to get the points. So let's just do a couple of them. Like the first one, what part of the atom is the proton? So I'm looking at the ones. Well, it's going to be B, right? The answer is going to be B. That's the proton, right? So there is a video up here that does explain it. It's the same one from the top section, but also it does describe the different parts as well. Now this last one is, or sorry, this middle section. This is probably the biggest section of them all. For all the atoms, identify the number of protons, neutrons, electrons, valence electrons, atomic mass, and the atomic number. Then use the periodic table to identify this element of the atom. The video explains the atomic structure. So there is a video here. I did post the periodic table. If you want to open that up, I can open that up just so you can see. This is the periodic table. We'll probably need to use that at some point, so I'll keep that off to the side. So let's just do a random one, right? So we have to get them all correct in order to move on. I will do this one. So number 31. So right off the bat, I can see here it has the number of protons and neutrons. If I look at the hint, right, a lot of hints here. This just tells you how to do this. The number of protons and neutrons are written in the nucleus. In all of these atoms, the number of electrons equal the number of protons. The atomic number is the number of protons. To get the atomic mass, add the protons and the neutrons. The valence electrons are in the outermost orbital. Use the periodic table to identify the element. So I said I would do number 31. Well, right off the bat, in the center, well, the protons are going to be 11. The neutrons are going to be 12. The electrons, well, I can count those up, right? You could count them all up, or I could use that hint, and in all of these, the electrons are going to equal the number of protons, so it's going to be 11. Now, the valence electrons are the one in the outermost circle, that last energy level. So right now, I can see that it only has 1. Now, the atomic mass, you can see that in that hint, you add the number of protons and add the number of neutrons. So in this one, if I'll pull up the calculator, even though a lot of these you should be able to do in your head, but it's going to be 11 protons plus 12 neutrons equals 23. So it's going to be 23. The atomic number is the number of protons. So I look there, and the number of protons is going to be 11. So I type that in as 11. Now remember, the atomic number and the number of protons determine the element. So what I have to do is, I know the atomic number is 11. Well, I come over here to my periodic table and I look at the top of all of these. There's going to be a number, and I'm looking for 11. So I come over here and I can see it's number 11 is Na, or sodium. So I can come down here to this drop-down menu and I find sodium, right? And notice I got that correct, so it all turned green. Good, right? So do that for all of them. These are all the first 20 elements on the periodic table, right? So the last one, they're not in order, but the last, like, it's just the first 20. So now let's go down to the bottom and do this one. This one's on isotopes. So the instructions are: carbon has 3 isotopes. For each isotope of carbon, identify the number of protons, neutrons, and the atomic number. So there's a video here that does explain isotopes, and it does explain those 3 types of isotopes. So you can see the picture here. There's 3, you can see the hint. All right, isotopes of the same element have the same number of protons but different number of neutrons. So I have carbon 12, carbon 13, and carbon 14. So how many protons does it have? Well, the number of protons, let's look at just carbon 12, straight down the center, right? How many protons does carbon 12 have? Well, because it's carbon, you could count these up. All carbon atoms have 6 protons. How many neutrons does carbon 12 have? I can do a little bit of math, right? I know carbon 12 is that atomic mass, 12 minus 6, or you could come in here and count, and I'm going to get 6. What is the atomic number of carbon 12? Well, the atomic number is just the number of protons, right? That identifies what element it is. It's going to be 6. So yeah, it did not turn green because you do have to get the entire row correct in order for it to turn green, but we just did carbon 12. So once again, this is that class activity on atomic structure.